in association with Sping's Perfumed Deo for the active you.
Hello and a warm namaste to everybody in this cold weather. You're watching the evening show at 6 in association with Sping's Deo only on Himalaya TV, and I am Sadichha. Ajako मेरो guest हुनुहुन्छ a self-made entrepreneur who has helped give Nepali viewers the best cinema experience possible and now the best shopping experience through a mall called La Beam. So no points for guessing here. I would like to welcome Nakim Dai to the show.
Thank you so much.
So Nakim Dai, so much to talk about today with you, हैन? धेरै मान्छेहरुले तपाईलाई the man behind QFX, हुन्छ नि हाम्रो cinema, Quest Entertainment and La Beam Mall भन्ने गरे पनि चिन्छ. But when I researched about you a little for this interview, I came to realize there was so much more that you did before something that defined you, भनौं न. त्यो business भन्दा अगाडि तपाईले कति कुरा गर्नु भएको रहेछ, which was quite interesting, and I don't know if a lot of viewers know it. But तपाईँको childhood बाट सुरु गर्दाखेरि you studied in AVM and then you went to study in Taiwan, a business school. So how Taiwan, you know, somewhere around 1986 को कुरा गर्नु पर्दाखेरि त्यति बेला 82. So you know, when त्यो टाइममा चाहिँ मान्छेहरु usually US जान्छ बाहिर पढ्नको लागि. अहिले पनि still a lot of people go to the US, but how Taiwan? How did you know, choose that country?
One of my aunt, my mom's elder sister, she was married to a Muslim Chinese, and he was a refugee in Kathmandu. Okay. And then they didn't have any children.
All right.
So they considered me as one of their child. So he had my uncle. He had a wish that I could study Chinese. I could you know, understand Chinese culture, language, food. So he helped me to get a scholarship in Taiwan. Okay. So that's how I landed up in Taiwan. All right. So first 6 months I did my Chinese language class. So I can read, write and speak Mandarin. All right. But as of this point I've forgotten quite a bit. Okay. But I can still manage myself. All right. And it was quite a shock for me as well. But you can speak Newari also, yeah. Because हजुरको childhood पनि was Newari neighborhood. So was in a Newari neighborhood. त्यसै कारणले पनि अझ you can speak. So how many languages can you manage? How do you manage to speak and understand? I can speak 5-6 languages. Wow. So all through experience, business, त्यसै कारणले नै सिक्दै जानु भएको. Yeah. Newari चाहिँ because we lived, I was born in Otutol, and then all my friends, you know, all my neighbors were Newar. And my mamagar was in Kilagal, and again all Newars. All right. So when we moved to Bagbazar, then again all Newar. So by just hearing only, I picked up Newari, and I can understand fairly well, and also speak. And then Nepali you learn in school, English you learn in school. Chinese because I went to college, and Urdu I had a home tuition. Okay. Being a Muslim, we have to study Quran, then the Urdu language. Okay. So that as a tuition at home. So all this. So अझै ताइवानमा आफ्नो business studies सकाएर आइसकेपछि चाहिँ you worked for your father's business. पोतेको businessमा गर्नुभएको थियो. Was that out of interest or was that because of a lack of option after you came back? किन चाहिँ त्यहाँ गर्नुभएको थियो? After I came back from completing my studies, I came back and then I made a lot of new friends, and I was like any other normal kids. So I was coming home late, I was partying quite a bit with my friends. So one day my dad said, enough now, come and join me in my shop. So that's how I landed. That was it, an order, and then you started working. But then I didn't have to learn about it because it was a family business. I grew up with that business, so I could understand. I could understand what pote is. So. But at one point you also went backpacking. You asked your father, the permission. You traveled across Asia, Europe, and after you came back, you actually started a travel
company. So त्यो चाहिँ तपाईले हुन्छ नि travel गरिसकेर सिकेर oh there is business भनेर सुरु गर्नु भएको you know like धेरै मान्छे travel गर्नुहुन्छ but were you so inspired that you actually came back and started travel company कि पहिलेदेखि interest थियो तपाईलाई त्यो सेक्टरमा
त्यो सेक्टरमा पहिलेदेखि इन्ट्रेस्ट थियो अनि इन्ट्रेस्टको कारण पनि के भने those days it used to be very I mean glamorous field you know like not
tourism.
like tourism हैन now it's like quite a bit of it but then it was my interest and fortunately I got a right partner who helped me to establish and we ran for 10 years we ran it for 10 years and then all the Maoist revolution started there was no tourists coming to Nepal and then sadly I had to close down
and after that tapaiko professional journey चाहिँ was another passion भन्नु movies so तपाई ताइवानमा हुँदा पनि धेरै movies हेर्ने गर्नुहुन्थ्यो रे अनि त्यसै कारणले पनि so after one business closed down तपाईले it was another like they say one door closes the other one opens भन्ने जस्तै so यो Quest Entertainment you know digitalized cinema त्यसको विचार कसरी आयो तपाईलाई because at that time when you started सबै celluloid मा run हुन्थ्यो so you know how did the thought come up how did you start how difficult was it to have partners कि एकदम सजिलो like minded people सँगै भएर सुरु गर्नुभयो कि त्यसको बारेमा चाहिँ
I was also into import business and those days India was not open so नेपालमा सबै सामान इम्पोर्ट हुने अनि त्यो ओपन बोर्डर अब कसै न कसैले आफै लगिहाल्थ्यो we used to import and sell it wholesale ma so I was doing that also for quite some time and then I started travel agency so when India opened my import business got closed down and because of thing my travel agency got closed down but just before travel agency was closing down my brother-in-law Bhaskar Dungana in a family gathering we were just talking and suddenly he said ki let's get into cinema business so I asked him what cinema business he said like let's let's take a cinema on lease and let's do all the modernization with latest TSX standards and all and then we come into cinema business and all of one common thing between all of us was we were all quite a movie buff and those days 2001 2002 ma or even prior to that nobody was showing Hollywood films so we were quite interested in Hollywood films so we said why not let's start so that's how three of us so my third partner is Rajesh Siddhi Bhaskar and Rajesh they went to college together in US so they were friends and me three people so all three of us we started our journey in cinema business and till Labi Mall so we all are together
wow. so that's a great thing to have people who share the same thoughts and the same vision to have them together as
but
partners.
then in early days cinema business was not professional at all so we had to go through a lot of difficulties but then we managed to turn around the industry now it's much better
of course
and we are producing good films Nepali film industry is producing a lot of good films so
do you remember the first movie that you showed after you took over the hall after you modernized everything and how was the experience मान्छेको reaction कस्तो थियो
so first movie was Spider-Man the first series so first one and we opened Jainipal with Spider-Man and it did I mean very good business Of those days most of the cinemas they were selling their ticket price for 50 rupees and our starting price was 175 rupees so people came to experience what are these guys offering for 175 rupees but then once they saw the you know the service quality the cleanliness and
value for money
so so they experienced that but then saying that Hollywood films, only popular films were popular, but then if you bring any mainstream Hollywood films, then it won't do so well, you know. So first 7-8 months we were just showing Hollywood films, and eventually it was not doing good, and we were quite worried also. And then finally we decided, no, we have to show Bollywood also.
Okay.
So once we started showing Bollywood, then we never looked back.
Right.
And then after that we took over Kumari, we renovated Kumari, things like that.
So as a movie buff also, when you appreciate cinema, when you appreciate art, तपाईलाई कतिको difficulty हुन्छ नि massले माग्ने movie र actually good quality movie चलाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ, you know, is there a discussion amongst the board कुन चाहिँ movie राख्ने, कुन चाहिँ movie नराख्ने, कस्तो movie चाहिँ viewers लाई देखाउने भनेर?
Then everything boils down to business.
Right.
So where you cannot compromise. Okay. The kind of films which probably we want to watch might not do well, because then it becomes a very niche market for it.
Right.
But occasionally we bring those movies also. So overall we do balancing thing.
Got it. In conversation with Mr. Nakim Uddin, the man behind QFX and now Labim Mall. Don't go anywhere and catch us after this break.
In association with Sping's Perfumed Deo for the active you.
Welcome back everyone. After the short commercial break, I am Sadichha and you're watching the evening show at 6 in association with Sping's Deo. So Nakim dai, along with movies, you're also into the food restaurant business. Tapaile duita franchise, international franchise ल्याउनु भएको छ at Labim Mall. So, you know, how difficult it is being a franchisee here?
I got this noble idea that we should do some good restaurants in the mall.
Right.
So that, see, if you have, once you have a mall, as per new findings, every store and every, whatever business is in the mall, every business has to have their own USP to create a footfall, right? So as an anchor, QFX is doing quite well there.
Right.
We generate a lot of footfalls.
Of course.
But then those footfalls might not go down for shopping or to eat. People might just come, watch movie and go back. Right? So every store needs to have their own USP. So thinking that, it's no-brainer that Chinese and Indian foods are most popular in Kathmandu.
Right.
So with my bunch of my friends, we invested in this company called Exotic Foods Nepal, and then we brought this franchise for Indian food called Le Mirch. It's again owned by a Nepali in Washington DC.
All right.
So he came down, we did this franchising. He was involved in the designing, then he was involved in setting up, training, and final food. So he's again, he comes once in a while to do all the audits.
Right. And
then so far it's doing quite well. And then we got this Thai food called Mango Chili.
Right.
It's again a franchise from Thailand, and also a friend. And also they have a franchise of Mango Tree all over the world. I think they have almost 80 restaurants or so, you know. So we got this franchise called Mango Chili Cafe, and initially it was, I didn't understand the business, so we faced a lot of difficulties in terms of franchising, in terms of taking permission from concerned authorities. But then eventually we got everything, and it's running well.
Do you think Nepal has the potential to have a lot of franchise of international brands, restaurants, be it clothing, fashion? Is Nepal a suitable market?
No, it all depends on disposable income. So which is, I mean, gradually every year, it's increasing. So
you would say Nepal, because it is a virgin market to say as such, because the experiment in Nepal, it's very limited.
I mean, if I'm to, if I open a restaurant and if I have to spend my time there, then it becomes a mom and pop kind of thing, which I didn't want it.
Okay.
So best for us was to get franchise and get good management who will run it for us. It's not like every day we're gonna run it ourselves. So franchise is better in that way. And then they have their own procedures and you know, periodical auditings and things like that. So the consistency of food and the rest of the things are taken care of. So in a way, it's quite easy. All right.
So when you, हामीले चाहिँ लबी मलको building भनौँ न, it was there before, पहिला नै पनि थियो, but it wasn't the talk of the town. The building was just there. I think there were a few shops that every time we passed by, I actually felt sad for the building because I'm sure there was a lot of investment done, but something was not right. So what did you do, what right thing did you do that, you know, the previous owners or founders or people missed out on?
I think previous owners didn't do well. That's where we got the opportunity. If they would have been doing good, then probably
wouldn't have been there.
So point is, I mean, see, people have become us. I know we've become quite lazy, and we want to pamper ourselves. I know. We don't want very complicated infrastructure. Old Lalitpur Bisal Bazaar was like you have to walk up 1.5 story of stairs and things like that, and people don't walk so much, right? So it was, in a way, it was not customer-friendly building, and neither it was an office building nor it was a shopping complex. So it was, I mean,
specific.
It was not designed specifically, let's put it that way. And then most of the better shops, good location shops, were all occupied by the owners. And they were not renting it out. And, so it was sad that when you enter, you don't see any shop, but then all the shops were inside where people hardly see it, you know. So good that they missed out on the opportunity and we got the opportunity.
So how often do you travel, Nakim Dai, to get all these ideas, you know, about, to get that, because Labim, I think the first time I went to Labim, I was really impressed, and I'm sure a lot of Lalitpurians must thank you also for bringing QFX into that place and, you know, to create a hangout hub on the other side of the Bagmati Bridge, to say frankly. So तपाईले चाहिँ आफ्नो travel गरेको experience-हरु, do you use it, that experience and you know, the तपाईले travel गर्दाखेरि लिनुहुने experience चाहिँ तपाईले आफ्नो कामहरुमा पनि कतिको use गर्नुहुन्छ?
We use it quite a bit, and also like I'm fortunate to have my 2 other partners who are, they are also equally, I mean,
travel enthusiast.
Travel pani, and they, especially Bhaskar, is quite, I mean, intelligent person. And he likes to research quite a bit. And then he comes up with a lot of new ideas and suggestions. And saying that, we also hired a consultant so that we could also learn about the shopping mall business. I mean, every business is not same. So since every business is different, so we also need to educate ourselves how to conduct that business. So we had a consultant, and he helped us quite a bit. We helped him also. So it worked out between us quite well.
A lot of businesses are actually getting a little bit lazy not to find out what is going on, the progress that is being made internationally regarding that business. त्यसै कारणले पनि a lot of businesses are not doing well. But if you do put in your hard work and effort, then definitely you can turn things around. So with that, we'll take another short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
In association with Sping's Perfumed Deo for the active you.
Having a lovely conversation here with Mr. Nakim Uddin. Nakim Dai, welcome to the show once again after the break. So हामीले अघि कुरा गर्यौं, we talked about QFX, we talked about Labim, your restaurant business. So तपाईले चाहिँ आफ्नो wife को लागि पनि, I remember you've invested for a business हैन उहाँको लागि चाहिँ how important do you think अहिले for women to not just be in homes, be outside, invest, be business women, and in true sense not just have a job but actually own something of their own?
I personally feel, I mean, not only in Nepal, let's say in our South Asian context, I think, I mean, girl children needs to be more educated, and boys can get around, they can manage, like. So my personal feeling is we need to educate more girl children and make them financially independent, so that, I mean, they can pursue their own career, so that they are not dependent on their, I mean,
family or
husband, brothers, or whatever. So saying that, our children are grown up, and Samira was not doing much. So I told her, I mean, whatever fascinates you, you should start look into it, and start a career for yourself. Then she said, our females are obviously interested in fashion.
Right.
So she said, fortunately that time we were getting franchise for, we were offered a franchise for a Singaporean brand called DMK for female shoes, and which instantly,
was a good offer
offer for her.
Right.
So now, I mean, we have a store there, she looks after it, she manages herself. So all female kind of store. She has a manager who is Sunita, again a girl, so it's a good combination, and it's doing quite okay.
Having to give so much of your time in different businesses, the family time कसरी manage गर्नुहुन्छ? Do you go watch movies, or go travel together? I also recently saw that you traveled to ABC.
Yes.
So यस्तो time manage गर्न तपाईलाई गाह्रो छ कि हैन? Because of your experience from the past 2-3 decades, तपाईले चाहिँ you're very good at managing family and business time.
Initially, no. Initially, I couldn't manage my time. And I was spending a lot of time for business. And today when I look back, I feel quite guilty not spending those times with my growing kids, right? But then now, since our QFX business is now professionalized, it's the first corporate house in Nepal for cinema. And it's managed by CEO, so we don't have to spend much time in that business. And Labim also, we have a professional management there, so they look after it. And my even F&B business, same, we have a CEO who looks after it. Only the store, Samira looks after it, my wife looks after it. But then, saying that, I have to attend a lot of meetings every day. But now I can manage my time much better. And I like to spend it with my family, especially with my boys. And then, yes, we take a lot of break, we travel quite a bit.
What would you like to tell to a lot of young people who are just starting out, who say this, अहिले त हो नि काम गर्ने, so हुन्छ नि family-लाई अलिकति neglect गरेर अहिले काम गर्ने. So would you like to actually tell them to make sure that they have work-life balance?
Of course. I mean, looking back, I realize, I mean, these days we have a biggest guru is Google. You ask any question, they'll teach you.
Right.
But then time management has become a biggest factor. And all of us, because we all have a limited time, so we have to manage it properly. And we have to balance it between family, friends and business. So normally, I mean, traditionally we all spend more time for business, thinking ki, I mean, this is the time, if not now, when? So I also went with this similar phase. And the other day I was apologizing to both my sons. I mean, while you guys were growing up, I couldn't spend much time. I was too busy working. And then since, I mean, I started everything from scratch, so I had to put in a lot of time into business. And my learning curves were also quite long, because I did a lot of experiment with other business also. So, but then I made them understand ki, I mean, it was not intentional, but then, yes, I regret not spending much time. But then now, since we all have so much of time, let's spend
quality
time and more time together.
So are your sons also interested in this business? Do they tell you, Papa, I'll take this forward someday? Or or are they interested in something completely different?
I mean, if you look, it's not here in Nepal only. I mean, it has become a global thing. What father is doing, children might not do it. You know, they might not pursue similar business interests.
Okay.
But saying that, my elder one wants to study filmmaking.
Okay.
And so I told him, I mean, it's up to you. But then I suggest you study business first and then go and study filmmaking.
Okay.
Because then even if you make a film, then again
if it doesn't work,
it boils down to business.
Right,
No, even cinema making film is also business. Okay. So he agreed. He's now studying business.
Okay.
And after that he plans to study filmmaking. And my younger one is in class 10. And he's very fond of watches. So he wants to study horology.
Okay.
So I don't know if he'll change his mind later, but as of now he wants to study horology. So.
As a self-made entrepreneur, तपाईले त आफै दुःख गर्नुभयो, you worked, like you said, you invested so much of your time that you now sometimes regret that you could have spent with your family. What would you suggest other self-made entrepreneurs? उहाँको बच्चाहरूलाई चाहिँ, would you suggest, you know, to have them in their same family business लाई नै continue गर्नु, और उहाँहरूलाई पनि ए दुःख भनेको के हो? How do you start something? आफ्नो vision लाई, आफ्नो you know, the त्यो फर्स्ट मा आफ्नो vision मा यदि अरु कसैले बिलिभ गर्दैन भने आफै भए पनि लाग्नुपर्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ, what would you tell the young self-made entrepreneurs?
For young entrepreneurs, I would say, see, probably what if you look into one business, it might not work.
Right.
Okay, so you have to look into multiple things, and then finally one of them will click.
Okay.
You know, that's how generally happens.
Right.
You know, and time management has become, I mean, modern day, I mean, big thing. So, like I said, I mean, Google is a guru. You can even study there to how to manage your time and things like that. But then, I mean, these days there are kind of business which never came to horizon in our days. I mean, today it could be any business.
Okay.
Right? And I do even provide mentorship for wannabe entrepreneurs. So I even learn so much from them. I mean, so it's quite nice. Yeah.
In conversation with Mr. Nakim Uddin. Don't go anywhere. This is our last break and we'll be right back.
In association with Sping's Perfumed Deo for the active you.
Hello everyone and welcome back after the break. You're watching the evening show at 6 in association with Sping's Deo, and I am Sadichha in conversation with Nakim Dai. So Nakim Dai, we've come towards the end of our program where we usually, you know, share some words of wisdom with our viewers who are watching. But before that, what's in store for Quest Entertainment, for QFX, you know, what are your future plans?
Now, I mean, in between we did the small project, and we did small project because of QFX, because Patan side didn't have any cinemas.
Right.
So because of that, we had to do entire mall. Now we are again concentrating on cinema. So one of our multiplex, which is in Chayam Center, Tamil, it's getting completed. So hopefully within this month of January, we will do the opening.
Wow. So another QFX cinema.
Another QFX. It's again 3 screens, and it's similar to La Beam. And then we have another franchise. We do franchise of QFX. So at the moment we have our franchise QFX in Narenghat, Nepalganj, and Pokhara. So the other one, the new one, is under construction in Birtamore.
Okay.
So it should be operational in a couple of months. And apart from that, I'm in negotiation for a couple of more properties for, again, multiplex.
Wow.
So we want to expand in cinema exhibition business. And personally, I've started production, cinema production. So I've joined hand with LA-based filmmaker. His name is Pema Dhundup. So I formed a company called Tri-City Pictures. So we've just recently produced, we've finished shooting in Nepal, and the movie is called The Man from Kathmandu.
Right.
So primarily we've shot, Nepali films are doing quite well. And like I said, industry has now turned around, and so many good films are coming out. And then if we are to make similar films, then so many people are already making it.
True.
So I personally feel we have to raise the benchmark.
Of course.
So that's the reason this time I've joined hand with Hollywood-based filmmaker, so that we can make better Nepali films, and also for international audiences.
Yeah.
So this project is quite important for me and as a producer. And we've finished all our Nepal part shooting. Now we have a little bit shooting in LA, and all the post-productions will be done in LA, so that it will be, as good as any Hollywood films.
I also quickly wanted to add something.
Yes.
Like Nakim Dai, you said, first you started with, QFX, then you went to Labim, then for Labim for QFX you wanted Labim, then inside Labim you had restaurants, so it was all connected businesses. And here in Nepal we see most entrepreneurs, most businessmen, what they do is कुन चाहिँ बिजनेस चलेको छ त्यहाँ मात्रै हात हाल्नुहुन्छ एकजनाले मोमो पसल खोलेर मोमो चलेको छ भने त्यही मात्र if someone started a travel company चलिहालेछ हामी पनि त्यही गरौँ भनेर. So it is actually very important to look around the need of the market के छ त भनेर. यदि if you can be a supplier or you can be a retailer, के कुरामा चाहिँ supply and demand हेरेर पनि I think people should be more smart in that way, right?
For wannabe entrepreneurs, I would like to say, see, there are, like you said, Nepal is a virgin land in terms of business, and there are so many opportunities. So you don't have to copy or mirror what somebody else is doing.
Right.
You can come up with your own, new ideas, new startups, and you can still turn around that business, and it's happening. I met quite inspiring bunch of guys. From kiwi farming to falful juice to I'm also providing mentor service to a hip hop artist called Nasty. So even the singing is also entrepreneurship, right? End of the day, it boils down to business.
If you're able to sell yourself, sell your CDs, of course.
So it's quite inspiring. Now people are doing a lot of new things. So I also get to equally learn with them. I share my experiences, but then I do get to learn with these young guys.
From them also. Yeah. So we part with one of the best advices that you have gotten throughout your journey of entrepreneurship. Was there anything that someone said that has stuck to you till now?
Yes. There's no shortcut to success. You have to work through.
Right. Lovely. Thank you, Nakim Dai, for joining.
Thank you so much for having me.
Like Nakim Dai said, there is no shortcut to success. So make sure you work hard, be patient, and things will definitely turn around for the good. This is Sadichha signing off from the evening show at 6. See you next week.
In association with Sping's Perfumed Deo for the Active You.